Today's video will be more about cross-dressing than actual makeup tutorial. I've been getting the professional face peel, chemical peel things. I've done 3 so far. And it's made an improvement, but I still have huge pores which I cannot fill or cover with anything. But I'm being treated better. More people are talking to me, and I went like this one day, and my hands actually went because my skin was so smooth. I wasn't expecting that. And they have treatments in between, which are the minor version of this: a little bit of chemical, a little bit of scrub, a little bit of protection, which you do 3 times a week, and then every day, and then twice a day, actually. So I want to talk about cabbages and kings and many things today. In the world, there are 4 categories of people. There are straight people, male and female, gay men, and gay females. And these are the known categories. Any one of these people can be a cross-dresser as well. The straight guys can be a closet dresser. The straight women can be a closet king. Gay men seem to be not interested in cross-dressing, and gay women, there's a spectrum from butch to lipstick lesbian. So put in between here, the cross-dressers don't actually fit into any of these categories. But everybody knows about it. Before I go too far, I'm going to say this will end up as you need to be true to yourself, because it's a matter of beingness, and you can't fight your beingness. It's like trying to run away from your shadow. It cannot be done. There's some things I would like you to look up on the net, and they are called testicular feminization syndrome, and I think the guy you want to find is, I think his name is Dr. Zapersky. He teaches this at university level. And what it is a certain percentage of babies that are unable to uptake testosterone from the mother during gestation. So they're surrounded by only progesterone and estrogen, so it feminizes the body and particularly the brain, and there are actual brain changes that have been documented by people freezing and staining the brains of cross-dressers and transgender people, and there is a difference. There's an area in the male brain that looks approximately like that, and it's just loaded with black dots. And in the transgender crossover, this is a female size. This size with very few black dots. They find the smaller one in the cross-dressers and transgenders. So there's been an actual change in the brain, which I personally interpret as you look in the mirror as your Paul Bunyan beingness, and you're saying, that's not right. And this is okay to do this. There's very few, if any. I've never heard of a case of someone who was a cross-dresser or a homosexual who went in for treatment and they went, oh, well, when this happens, we just do this and you become straight. This starts in the womb. Also, if the I have a lot of training in medical and anthropology. If the husband is a psychopath, the stress on the mother will change the hormones, and the hormones will communicate to the baby. Don't be too masculine and aggressive, because when you come out, you're going to be going head to head with this monstrous being who's crazy. And this is again part of the hormonal change. And people who have testicular feminization syndrome, after they're born, are unable to manufacture testosterone until puberty hits. So their whole childhood is testosterone less. And then puberty hits and all hell breaks loose. Another topic related to this is something from the esoteric schools. It's called inner considering. And I'll define this by going to its opposite, which is external considering, which is being kind to others, helping a little old lady across the street, making sandwiches for the homeless people. Not laughing in church. Inner considering consumes most of the life of humanity, and it is what worrying about what other people will think, or how can I approach this situation and win. And a lot of energy is wasted and time considering, what will I do? Should I take my shoes off? Shouldn't I take my shoes off? And there are these thousands of communication lines from the past. Don't do this, don't do that. Sit up straight. Don't cheat in line. Thousands of rules put on to us by our mothers under a force called feminine dominance, where you have to control this wild animal, your child, until you can civilize it. But one's early experience is sit down, shut up, and eat your vegetables. And this carries over into adult life. Now, some people are able to blow this off en masse and just not have that stuff anymore. And those people generally wind up being called assholes because they're inconsiderate. And makes them look selfish. But freedom lies in stopping your inner considering. This is something you can learn about if you read the books by George Gurdjieff and Peter Ouspensky. Should I cross-dress? Should I not cross-dress? Should I buy this wig that's really expensive? I can't afford it. What will happen if my wife finds out? What will happen if my brother finds out? If I go downtown, will I get beat up? If I have sex with a stranger, will I get a disease? Thousands of things. This is energy that you could be using to be, as Shakespeare said, to be or not to be. That is the question. I belong to a group, cross-dress group. It's 126 members, and we have events at least once a month, and only about 14 people show up and it's the same people all the time. And nobody posts their picture. I guess they're still in the closet, rarely. I've been doing full-time for at least 7 years, maybe longer. I go everywhere. I go everywhere. You're shopping. Right now I'm down by the river taking videos. Go out to open mics, and I haven't had any trouble. And say 10 years ago, this is funny. I'm not sure what to think of this. I used to dress in the sexy cross-dresser outfit, high-heeled black pumps, fishnets, mini skirt, mini dress, big hair, lots of makeup. And I had lots of interest from males and females. And one day, a friend of mine says, "Why don't you stop dressing like you don't have an effing clue?" So I started dressing like a lady, and no more dates. Now back to the fingers. Or a cross-dresser. Actually, not a drag queen. A drag queen is a gay man who does that dressing up, does the show. And then as soon as the show's over, they immediately want to tear all that stuff off and be gay men. So that's not me. I can't talk to you about that. They don't like me because they know I'm not really gay. So they don't talk to me. What's the point I was heading towards? Oh yeah, dating. The cross-dresser, straight men are not interested in cross-dressers. Straight women are not interested in cross-dressers because you're obviously gay. Gay men are not interested in cross-dressers because you're not gay. And gay women are not interested in cross-dressers because they're men. Although sometimes when I'm passable, lesbians will try to pick me up, and it's really quite humorous for me when they realize I'm not a female. The look on their face is just, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. But I never know what someone's up to, and what I'm heading towards is the, until the demise of Craigslist, it was possible to get attention from straight men who fantasize about cross-dressers. And there are two scientists who did a TED Talk on this. One was an anthropologist and the other one was a brain expert. And they did a survey of porn. They looked at over 1 million porn searches in the cross-dresser gender, and what are these people looking for? And the search words were tits, ass, feet, and penis. And they thought, okay, boobs make sense, butt makes sense, feet's kinky, but what's with the penis? Straight guys looking at penises. And the anthropologist cut in and said, among primates like monkeys and apes, when there's always the main monkey and he has all the women and beats the crap out of the other males to keep them away from the women. So the other males are being outbred And they see that, so when they see the big monkey having sex, they go, I have to get in there and get him, or otherwise I won't have any children, I'll get bred out of the system. So seeing a penis means I need to have sex to survive. So that's sort of locked into the primate brain. Science. And why that's looked at by straight males is when they get older, they're losing testosterone. It gets harder and harder to perform. So that's the four pillars of porn to get the person excited, is the beautiful girl with the appendage. That's the why of that. And it leads to not a real relationship. This is like a masturbation toy, which is not a fun lifestyle, and a lot of the suicides in this arena are probably pushed forward by the I'm not good enough. And the answer is yes, you are good enough, but the people who are accessing you are not actually interested in you as a person. So, I think the answer is to get out in the world, join groups, go to concerts, outdoor activities, rallies, walk on the beach, and don't try to be totally passable, because you have some cachet as a cross-dresser. It's sexy. Women have a hard time getting boyfriends. Women are lonely, especially older women. So if you become passable as an older woman, and my channel is for older, you'll just disappear. And you don't want that. I was walking down the street one day. It was had become passable as an older woman, and when you're a cross-dresser, everyone sees you. They notice you. They look at you. No one was looking at me. I went, wow, I'm passable. And by a miracle, two women were walking toward me, older women, and I heard one of them say, well, I guess I'm old now. And a friend said, what do you mean? She says, no one's looking at me. So women are used to being looked at. Mom's Mabley, the old 90-year-old comedian, said about men, said, no matter how old you are, they'll always look one time. So my philosophy on that is not dressing in what I call T-girl puberty, which is the tight clothing, leather miniskirt, nylon stilettos, etc. If you're thin, I recommend wearing wispy clothing. Don't cinch in on it and go, look, I'm really skinny. Make people look for it through your semi-transparent layers of clothing. It's much more feminine. And a lot of people who are thin basically have skinny legs and knobby knees, and that's not a good look unless you do it just right. And that would be like a full-length skirt with a slit that goes all the way up. It's classy and sexy at the same time. So you need to look at what kind of woman are you? If you were a woman, what would you be? But in my case, I have a cute face. I don't have a hot face. I will never have a hot face unless I get surgery. So I'm stuck looking cute when I have all my makeup done, which is not today. So it would be not Hollywood to have a cute face and a sex goddess mock-up. So you're going to need a mirror for this. You need to look at your bodies have either a short back and long legs, or long back and short legs, and it makes everyone approximately the same height. Now, occasionally you get long back, long legs. And that's pretty rare and exceptional, and it looks pretty good. Or you get short back, short legs, which is a little more rare. You need to go on YouTube and look at, there's 10,000 videos on face shape, hairstyle with face shape, hair color with your skin tone, clothing with your skin tone. This requires some study yourself as a model. I've had several people that I did makeovers on, and they look in the mirror and they say, "Oh, I look like my sister," because it's the same DNA, it's the same face, it's the same everything. They never imagined that would happen. So you might wind up looking like your sister or your mother. There's someone I really recommend called Ali Arts. She covers everything: makeup, hair, eyebrows, clothing, skin tone, shoes, fashion. And she has the most in-depth tutorials on body types, not only with the short or long, but overall there's I think there's 5 or 7 body types, and she uses Hollywood stars as examples. Like, this is an example of this, and this is how you dress it. And if you know this, it puts you ahead of the game. You know what to buy. For example, I don't look good in white. The clothing looks fantastic, but it washes me out. And I found out by accident that I look really good in chocolate brown, which I never would have thought of buying. And for some reason I bought one dress. I guess it was the only thing in my size and style, and I dressed it up and I went, my God, this really brings out everything. I just bought another one this week. Fantastic thing. Very Greek goddess looking, with a big copper brashes belt buckle. And what to spend your money on is at least one good wig, when you find out what your color is and what style suits you. I have a big square forehead, and I always wear this Veronica Lake sort of thing. Looks really good, fun, or better than. I have a long face, but also when you're out, who's ever over there will walk over here to see who you are, because they can't quite see you. It's a little trick. What you don't want is the wig with the definite line you can see here, where the hair goes this way, and you can see the line. The smallest handling you can do that is to get your foundation color and dot it along there so it looks like the skin goes back. Or hang it upside down and rough this up with your fingers, or just clip this down and comb this side up so that it's not just looking like, I'm going to do this like that. You want it to be loose like real hair. There's a lot to be said. I don't do wig tutorials, but I have 30 wigs, and a lot of them I turn them upside down and I comb down a lot. I'm also combing from the inside, then not just the other side, and then turn it over, and you'll find it's very soft and flowy. This is the #1 clockability, is having a cheap wig with an obvious sewn part. It's like a bad wig. Like a man with a bad toupee. So better wigs are not a lot of money. The cheap wigs are around $20, $30. 45 to 65 is not a bad range. The ones that are 75 are barely better. If some of them are just the $40 wig, they're just charging double for it. And you can get real human hair wigs for their $300 to $500. And if you're absolutely certain of which wig you want, then spend money on that. Even if you have to get a part-time job for a month. Overall, I see the best feminine look is long hair, which is straight to here, and then lots of big curls, and the side part, because part down the middle is just I'm a good girl, and if you slide the thing over, you have a bit of attitude. Means you're right-handed. Another tip is to, if you can, match the wig to your dress, the darkest color in your dress. It really helps with the overall look. And if you have matching jewelry, I like statement necklaces, and they're usually in North America like $6. You can get a used statement necklace, and if you start matching, you have a dress that may be have red and white and black. You would use a black wig with that, and that puts the whole body together. If you have a brownish tone, orangey tone, and a red wig,